Dr. Kuldeep Patil, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
I also welcome all faculties and students who have joined from the different organization to attend this wonderful talk, which is given by Dr. Kuldeep Patil, sir. Before we started, I just said few words for Dr. Kuldeep. That Dr. Kuldeep is the Senior Director of APACA Project Management at Emerald Clinical, and APAC Originated Global CRO. In his current role, he leads a team of more than 20 project management professionals across Asia, including project directors, project managers, and project specialists located in Singapore, Malaysia, Australia, Taiwan, South Korea, India, and China. He and his team oversee and manage signing country and multi-country clinical trials across the region. In addition to project delivery, leadership, Dr. Patil plays an active role in supporting business development, training, and talent development, resourcing, financial oversight in various organizational activities across Emerald Clinicals. Over the course of his career, he has progressed through roles such as CRA, clinical lead, project manager, project director, director, and senior director, building deep expertise in project management, people, leadership, resource planning, and financial management. Dr. Patil has extensive international experience, having lived 3.5 years in China while working with Therum Clinical Research, and 8 years in Singapore, where he's worked with PRA and later Seniors Health. Since returning in India in 2022, he continues to provide strategic leadership, strengthening project management capabilities across Asia, and contributing to clinical development and improved patient care. Dr. Patil holds a B.Pharm from Government College of Pharmacy, Karad, and earned his PhD from Bharati Vidyapeeth, Pune College of Pharmacy, Pune. So this is the brief, actually not brief. There are lots of experience of Dr. Patil have. So first of all, I want to congratulate. I feel very glad that Pharmalok gave me this pleasure to host this wonderful evening and talk. So again, I welcome Dr. Patil. And next, I think this is the right time to start your talk. Thank you, sir.
Sure. Thank you very much, Dr. Shitish. It was a quite a not a brief, but a lot of introduction about me. I was not expecting that you will be speaking about me so much. Thank you very much.
Welcome.
So, just to start with, I would like to thank you, Pharmalok Group, as well as the supporting institutions, including the APTI and others, Mr. Amit Jha as National Coordinator, and you, Dr. Shitij, as the member and moderator. Also, thanks, Professor Praveen Javle, sir, for introducing me over here, and all respected delegates, members, colleagues, and friends for giving this opportunity. So, with this limited time, I would try to be as brief as possible and try to complete my topics as within the time, not taking much of the time from you all. So this is the agenda. I might take around 50 minutes, and we can have any Q&A toward the end of the session. Feel free to include any questions in the chat box. Either we can answer towards the end, or we should be able to send the responses in case we are not having the time. So agenda includes the enhancing industrial training and internship, which is very much important. Structural internship, emerging career pathways, and these are the three focus areas which I will be a little bit more elaborating on, is the pharmacovigilance, clinical data management, medical writing, and then benefits and conclusion. So in terms of the enhancing industrial training and internship, so it involves very much proactively integrating emerging career pathways into the programs to ensure that the students gain relevant future-ready skills. We all know that industrial training bridges the gap between the academics and the industry. Growing demand for the specialized skills in the pharma and clinical research. We very much agree there is a need for the well-structured and skill-oriented internship programs. So key strategies for the enhancement includes curriculum co-development with the industry. So there should be some collaboration to design training program and curricula. Uh, Focus on the emerging technologies where the exposure needs to be provided to all these students and academic interested candidates to for the new technologies, like it can be an automation, it can be an AI. Mentorship from the industry experts, so we know our pass outs and a lot of experts from the industry. So pairing with those experienced professionals in the industry can give quite a good experience for those candidates. Maybe that is something which we can try. Emphasis on the soft skill development. This is one of the important area. While most of my industry colleagues as well, when we go out in the industry, so whatever we had learned within the colleges in terms of the technical, definitely those matters, but what matters more in terms of the career enhancement and really growing into whatever the career you had chosen is the soft skill. It can be communication, teamwork, problem solving, adaptability across the different cultures and different seniority levels as well. Project-based learning, where we can understand the real-world problems, assigning the projects, develops the critical thinking abilities. Specialized training programs like offering the workshop seminars, which I can see that most of the institutions does, like for the regulations, best practice learning, best practice in the industry and all. Career guidance and exploration. So attention needs to be given to identify the interest within the candidates as well, in terms of uh, and understand the market trends as well, so that the candidate can understand what is that going to be a future and where he should be investing based on whatever the interest he has, based on the whatever the capabilities and qualities he has, so where he should be able to invest more of his career focused, so that it can be something which he can enjoy his life in the next 20 years or something. Virtual and flexible options, there are a lot of remote training options as well, which are available, can be explored. In terms of the structured internship, so a structured internship is the plan curricula based industrial exposure, and with the defined learning objectives, which can be within the timelines, deliverables, and the mentorship. So all these factors are very important, and the key components of the structure internship can be defined learning objectives. Whatever the internship we are assigning, or we are designing, or we are going to implement and provide that candidate, so it should have some defined objectives. That candidate should be getting the hands-on project experience. They should be getting the real life industry processes. They should be able to know the environment over there, should be able to learn and develop some of the soft skills as well as some expertise technical skills as well. Rotational modules, there might be several modules. So once they are over there, so probably we should be making an arrangement so that they are getting some touch and experience in terms of all the modules across. Mentorship and supervision internally from the institute as well as from the industry, wherever we are having that internship. So there should be good mentorship as well as supervision, along with the feedback in terms of so that there can be a very good improvement areas which the candidate can work on. Periodic assessments and final evaluations and certificates. So this is something probably we can try to have as well. So below are the popular internship tracks, mainly applicable mainly for the relevant topics which we are discussing. Those internship can range from minimum 4 weeks to maximum I had seen 8 weeks, 10 weeks, or 12 weeks as well. So below are the few tracks like clinical research internship, pharmacovigilance internship, clinical data management or data science internship, medical writing, regulatory affairs, industrial pharmacy, manufacturing internship. Hospital clinical pharmacy, it's not something which we have much over here in terms of the applications in the industry, but it's more abroad, including the community pharmacy and a retail internship. But those are the two areas probably we should be able to see more of the advancement moving forward. But it's better to propose and suggest our students to have those internship those structured internship tracks, to help them to have that exposure. So what are the emerging career pathways? So you should be knowing much better than me, but these are the few areas which has been listed over here. So as we are evolving along with the advancements in the technologies and the medical field, uh, maybe few of the listed pathways are not common yet in India, but in coming years, as I mentioned, so they should be growing fast. We Indians start late, but we eventually do top in the ranks, and so we should have the high expectations as well. From this list, we will be focusing on the pharmacovigilance, data management, and medical writing. But in addition to that, you can see there is a digital health, telepathy, health tech, which we can look into that later as well. Pharmaco, genomics and precision medicine, regulatory affairs and market access, biotechnology, biopharma and advanced therapies, industrial pharmacy and manufacturing. Health economics is something which is very much growing area, and data science as well. Pharmaceutical consulting and entrepreneurship. In terms of the pharmacovigilance, when we start, so clinical trials conduct, post or during the COVID phase, everybody is aware about the clinical trials because of the vaccine clinical trials and the data. And without much of the clinical trial, participants, or definitely there were clinical trials, but whenever the clinical trial is conducted in terms of the new drug development, it goes on for years and years, from which only highly successful molecule in terms of the efficacy and safety get into the market. But maybe there is a lot of failure which we see. But in the COVID, because of the need, and maybe because of limited testing and good results what we have, so we were able to get tested or have that vaccine as well. So it is actually highly regulated field. When we start from the phase 1 to phase 3, important aspects which are managed within the clinical trial are always the safety first and the efficacy. So safety data, it's a data basically. So we need to what if it can be clinical trial, it can be real world, it can be phase 4 real world evidence studies. So basically the safety data needs to be collected. Once the safety data is, and that safety data needs to be collected from not only from the clinical trials from phase 1 to phase 3, because phase 3 can be considered as a pivotal, and safety is something which is first looked into by the FDA and the regulatory bodies to give the decision in terms of whether to expose our patients for that particular product or not. And then comes the efficacy. So when the two meets are as per the expectations are accomplished, then the product is marketed. But not only during the clinical trial, but once the product is marketed, then also, like, we need to understand how it behaves in the real world. And most of the pharma companies has this particular department, and we need to, and either it can be a medical marketing department, or but core pharmacovigilance people are sitting in the office, who are collecting the data and analyzing, and providing that information either in-house or as per the regulatory expectations. India is actually becoming a good hub, as several companies use the pharmacovigilance services from India, and it can be remotely taken care using very well known, our low cost and highly talented resources and individual which we can provide. So as you see over here, so pharmacovigilance is also called as a drug safety. It focuses on the identifying, assessing, and preventing the adverse effects of the medicine. So whoever is going to take the responsibility, or whoever is going to work in that particular area, what are the core responsibilities? That can be the question which can come in our mind. So they are mainly associated with collecting the data related to the safety, assess the data, and report the adverse drug reaction. So maybe the question might be coming into the mind, how these data are collected. So of course, during the clinical trial, we have very good systems in place. We have the plans, we have the processes, we have the pharmacovigilance department. So previously, I did mention that I am into the project management, and maybe you might be wondering, like why I should be talking about the pharmacovigilance, medical writing, and data management. But being with the project management, so my role is to manage the study, manage the clinical trial, end-to-end services. So that means me and my team have that total oversight, are the point of the contact for the client, are the point of the contact for the internal team. So that means to support the project management team, to support the project, we are having the different services and different functional leads. So from that, one of the service which is very much needed is clinical operations, which everybody knows. But data management is needed to analyze the data. We need the pharmacovigilance to, take care of any of the safety reporting, and prepare any reports which are required as per the regulatory, as per the study protocol, because the study which is conducted, it can be for the US FDA, or right now the study one of my project manager is conducting is conducted across all the three regions. So there are almost 32 countries involved. So each country should be not it is having a different regulations. So different expectations, different requirements, different formats in terms of how it should be reported, different timelines how it should be reported. So that pharmacovigilance team is required to be centralized, as well as we need to have a pharmacovigilance representative or the specialist in each of the country, so that it the compliance of the regulatory requirement, as well as ICH GCP, as well as each US FDA, EMA, and respective country regulations are also complied. Because there are several inspections, audits, and if we are going to that level where the product is going to be a blockbuster, we don't want any other audit findings as well. So this is one of the department: clinical data management, medical writing. There can be a biostat, there can be a programming. So there are several departments, including the medical monitors, who are the medical doctors with the MD or some specialization in any of the therapeutic area. So those are the all the functions which we have together, who works for the project. So that's where we have the oversight, and that's the reason probably I'm invited here to talk about these particular areas as well. So the core responsibilities can be, as I mentioned, so to collect, assess, and report the adverse drug reactions. They also ensure that the case processing in the safety databases. So the data is collected from the electronic data capture. Earlier there were the paper CRF. So if it is the post-marketing study, so maybe there can be some systems which they had developed in terms of collecting the data, but for the safety processing, there are some specialized systems as well. So all the data the safety system is then further integrated with the electronic data capture, and whatever the relevant information about the safety is transferred into the safety database, and it helps to process and prepare whatever the reports are needed. But we need the pharmacovigilance specialist and the team to review that, because we can't really rely on whatever and who reports that. So it's hospital, because the hospital, several hospitals. So right now I mentioned 32 countries. So there are almost like 90 hospitals across all those regions, or it can be more than 250 hospitals as well. So the data for each of the patient is entered into that. So if any of the safety related issue is identified, is reported by the investigators. So not all the investigators or the sites provide all the data in the required format. Something is missing. There might be some queries. There might be not an accurate information. So that is something needs to be checked by the safety group as well, to ensure that they are having all the needed information as per the requirement, as per the process what we had set up. They will be involved in the signal detection and benefit risk analysis. If there is any safety report or any different indication, they will be involved in the literature screening as well. Once they have the quality data or the information which is needed, they need to prepare the safety reports. The safety reports can be PSUR, like periodic safety reports, or drug development safety reporting, and narrative writing, and also which are requirements as per the global clinical studies, or especially for the FDA and EMA standards. But there might be some different format which might be used for different countries as well. For example, in India, there is some different format which needs to be used. But these reports, when prepared, a local safety specialist can format that as per the India requirement, and can submit these reports as well as the India specific report as well. And then is the regulatory reporting, because everything needs to be reported to the regulatory. There are some specific timelines which we need to report. What are the skills required? So strong pharmacology or pharmacy background. So pharmacy, we have the pharmacology um, subject. Usually the preferred one are the M.Pharm pharmacology, but definitely, a strong pharmacology knowledge is something is important, irrespective of whether the person is a PhD, whether is the M.Pharm pharmacology or not. Understanding the adverse events or understanding the clinical trial background, regulatory guidelines as well, MEDRA coding, maybe some understanding about the coding as well. So who to choose this? So who are really good in the pharmacology? They like the safety related thing, drug disease and everything. So probably would like to investigate in terms of, because to investigate and write the reports and all that. So like the structured rule driven work, want fast entry and quick job availability, because pharmacovigilance is the vast area along with the data management. So can get a quick entry into the industry as well. What are the skills gained through the internship? So in case there are the CROs and the pharma companies which I had seen in my career as well, that we give the opportunity for the just recently passed out student as well to join as an intern. The salary is less, but once they are working over there, so definitely it can be a benefit for them, because industry is able to know them. They are able to know the industry. They are able to learn the things, and industry people are able to identify who is better, and how that person should be able to grow, and how helpful they are, and should be able to retain in case there is a need, of course. understanding the global PV regulations, hands-on the safety databases. They are able to see how it is processed, and should be able to learn the things. They are able to learn the medical terminology and several databases which we use while processing the cases. They are able to develop the analytical and documentation skills as well, and of course, the other skills like soft skills, communication. They should be able to meet and greet others and develop the contacts which might be useful for them in the future as well. So these are the roles in the pharmacovigilance. So there are some entry level roles which are like an associate level or executive level. There are mid-level roles like scientists, writers, and specialist team leads as well. There are the senior level roles like managerial or scientist level roles or the lead roles, and there are some specialized roles as well in terms of if there is any specialized services required, like for example risk management specialist or quality and compliance specialist to check if everything is of the quality. There are the PV pharmacovigilance project managers who, if there are the standalone projects, like I mentioned, so there are standalone projects which we get, not the other services, only the pharmacovigilance for one of the sponsors. So in that case, we need the project manager from the pharmacovigilance team who should be able to deal with the client, take care of the finances, take care of the project, and a lot of other areas which the project manager need to work on. So, in terms of the pharmacovigilance career, so where it exists, pharma companies, different CROs, these are the top CROs which are across the globe. So except Emerald, so I included the Emerald name because I'm from Emerald, but IQVIA, Seniors, Paraxel, Icon, LabCorp are the top 4 CROs, global CROs, which have the existence within India as well. There are several KPOs and PV companies like Organised, TCS, Accenture, Wipro. They are very good. they take the standalone services as well and do the processing. Regulatory agencies need that, hospitals needs that. Skills, we discussed around the skills as well. Career growth can be, someone joins as a safety associate, can move up in the ladder. It depends definitely on your skill set, the experience, and how you and the opportunity within the organization as well. So there might not be an immediate opportunity available, but I would suggest that even though someone wanted to enter into the safety, not to wait till that position is available, but to check if there are any other positions available in the clinical research as well, because do the internship, do any courses, attend any seminars, get the knowledge. But even though someone gets an opportunity to work as a CRC or clinical research coordinator in the hospital, or the clinical associate or project associate in any of the CRO or the pharma company, but they get the hands-on experience of the clinical trials. So understanding clinical trial, having that practical knowledge definitely can be given the preference whenever that position gets open. These are the salary ranges. So just for your information, I had included that over here. So in terms of the clinical data management, so clinical data management is the crucial part of the clinical research. And they are mainly responsible for collecting the data, cleaning the data, validating the data, and ensuring that the quality of the data generated in the clinical trials is reliable. So it's all about the data. So in terms of the, you might have heard about the data science as well. So maybe we can talk about that later as well, but just wanted to touch base on that. So what are the core responsibilities of the data management or the personnel who is working in the data management? So they build and manage the EDC. EDC is electronic data capture, or design the CRF and database creation. And the team also includes the programmers to assist them, and also having or gaining that programming knowledge and SAS knowledge is also something is very important, including some statistical, some courses might be helpful as well. Perform the data cleaning and the validation. Manage the CRF and the query resolution across the clinical trials phases, and reconciliation the data whatever is coming. So not only the data is coming from the sites, the data is also coming from the safety. So ultimately the safety will be processing the data, will be looking into the safety data, and the data will be going to the data management because it's all into the CRF. The data, there might be a central labs as well, so they might be estimating centrally all the laboratory related things, so estimations and all that. So that data again comes to the data management. So they need to upload all the data or probably have the data and probably integrate along with all the data which they had, and they probably might need to also reconcile the data against the patients, against the visits, against whatever the available things are. There is a lot of automation over there because of the advancement. There is a programming, there are the program checks, which provides and avoids a lot of manual work, but again manual work is also something which is important and needed. Database lock activities ensure the high quality clinical trial data is available. Skill set, understanding of the clinical trial, definitely. Comfort with the data tools like Excel, SQL, EDC systems and experience. Really a detailed and focused information, focused oriented persons are needed over here, and some of the data logic is also needed for as one of the skill set. Someone who enjoys working with the data, enjoys working with the systems and analytics, and playing along with the data, and probably using the Excel trackers and formulas and all that. Probably it's a very good field for them. And someone who is really detail oriented and wanted to have that good, stable and long term job. And it's evolving into the data science with all the new technology coming in. So probably it can be a good field as well. Skills which can be gained through the internship. So someone who is going through the internship should be able to understand the EDC systems like Rave, Oracle. Viva is something which is very much emerging, and it's highly technological now. Understand the GCP regulatory knowledge, logical reasoning and attention to the details, and basic of the data management as well. So I was talking about the clinical data management and the data science. So they are definitely not the same, although they are, but they are related. And CDM can be like a foundation for the data science. CDM means clinical data management. So data science it involves using the advanced analytics and machine learning to interpret that particular data. So interpret the data, derive the insights, and probably have the very good precise decisions or the informed decisions out of it. This is definitely the future, and we can see a lot of advancement with the evolutions of the AI, artificial intelligence technologies. Data science usually focus on the analyzing the complex data sets, which is difficult to manually look into that. So any of the complex data set to identify the patterns or the trends, provide the actionable insights and all. So data science mainly relies on the high quality and the clean data, and from where it comes from the data management. So without the data management, we can't have that clean data. We definitely need to do a lot of work, and without the accurate data from the CDM, data science can analyze the data, but the data cannot be reliable. It will be unreliable. So only thing is data science requires the advanced analytical skills, programming skills, And India is really becoming a hub for the clinical data management because of a lot of other factors as well. So standalone services as well, a lot of companies are taking, and backend work. So for example, any of the global CRO which you've seen, so they are all having the data management set up in within India. Why? Because first is cost effectiveness. Highly skilled people we are having, so technologically we are very sound. We really have the problem solving skills, and definitely we come with a lot of experience, and a digital infrastructure is something which has contributed a lot. IT advancement and the infrastructure has also contributed a lot. So that's the reason data science is definitely going to be a next stage to the clinical data management. So the roles within the data management are entry level, like data reviewer, entry specialist, query management associate, those associate levels role. Mid level can be like manager level, or any of the programmer. You know, can be considered as the manager level in terms of the pay scale, and in terms of the mid level as well. Medical coder, lab data specialist, because the lab data comes in, we need in the data management the specialist who is able to recognize and reconcile and analyze, and probably integrate that into the core data. Those data specialists, lab data specialists, are needed as well. Senior level, those can be senior data managers, project managers. If we get the standalone services, only data management, not other services, then probably my project manager will be not assigned to the study, but someone from the data management team who is actually the project manager, some project management experience in terms of communication, in terms of financials, in terms of oversight and all that, should be assigned. Some specialized roles as well, like AI-driven analyst, data integration, and biometric specialist, which are there. So we talked about the data sciences earlier as well. So there are the some of the roles which are like emerging. Those can be like data engineers, machine learning engineers, data scientist, business intelligence analyst, data architect, but definitely requires some sort of IT IT related skill sets, technical skill sets, and which can be, there are a lot of courses which are available, and definitely that is something which can be gained through the experience, and also through learning and attending those courses as well, and the certification courses as well. So in terms of the careers, so again, it's across the CROs, pharma biotech companies, IT KPOs, because there are the standalone services, and these are the companies which are into it. There are the hospitals and academic research institutes or the centers as well, who needs the in-house data management as well, because those are the investigator initiated studies. Those are happening in India, even though not much of the government funds comes in, but there are a lot of foreign funds comes in, and outside of India, definitely there are a lot of such institutes who has their own lot of academic research, and they have their own team to own team, like a CRO setup within them, because there are a lot of studies which are ongoing, and it's really costly for them to outsource that, and it costs a lot of cost. So they have the in-house setup. Skill set required, we discussed about that as well, and career growth can be from the CDM associate to director, senior director, or a VP level as well, and the salary range are increases from the entry level to 20, 30, 40, more than 50 as well. Depends on whether you are managing the Asia Pac, whether you are taking care of the globe and all that. Hope I'm not running late. Okay, I still have time. So in terms of the medical writing, so medical writing is the fast growing career in the pharmaceutical and the clinical research and the healthcare communications and the scientific publishing industries and all. So it involves producing a clear, accurate, scientifically sound documents for the clinical research, which are mostly required for the regulatory submissions. They can be also required for the medical communications or the marketing purposes, or it can be also for the publications or for the education purposes. So this is all for the medical writing. So it's not only related to the clinical research, but it can be some other areas as well, including the medical communication, including education, including scientific and all that. So what are the types of the medical writing careers? So regulatory medical writing. So there are several, as I mentioned. So if one report is prepared for the FDA, that report cannot be submitted to the EMA. That report cannot be submitted to the CDSO, which is the India. They have their own format. This is definitely not something which is acceptable for the Korea, Japan, or China, which are something the target markets within the Asia Pac, where the client would like to have the access to market the medicine. So each regulatory has their own requirement. So based on that, those are something needed by the CROs and the pharma companies, and they need those resources to get the expertise to prepare such medical reports or regulatory reports as per the regulatory agency requirements. Scientific and publication writing, so focuses on the academic and scientific content. So mostly the fundings comes from the government, or for example, in Pune we have Nari Institute. So they not only get the commercial studies outside, but they have their own initiated studies, and they get the government funding, they get the outside fundings as well. So they focus on mainly for the scientific publications, and and most of the industry also are the sponsor, like Novartis, Bayer, and several others multinational companies as well. So what they do is they already have their product in the market. So it's academia, academic institutions or the medical institutions also need some sort of research to be done. It can be for their medical MD dissertation, or it can be for the publication, or most of the investigators and doctors are very much interested for getting involvement in the research, and this is something the university requirement as well. So that's the reason the pharma companies outsource that and provide the funding to the institutes, and institute runs the study by their own, which can be within that specific country, and there is a group of investigators, group of institutes who run the study, and they either outsource or they do, or they take care of all the analysis and management internally as well. And there are some journals or medical scientific agencies as well, so probably they also need the scientific and publication writing resources to join them. Medical communication and medical marketing writing, so they are mainly from they are mainly needed in the pharma marketing department, or the medical communication department, mainly for the internal medical communications, or for the training purpose, for whatever the sales team they are having, or for the medical marketing purposes as well. For the clinical writing, as we discussed for the clinical trial, so for the clinical trial, a lot of efforts is taken in terms of executing the clinical trials, starting the clinical trials, training the investigator sites, and everything is done to generate the data. And once the data is generated, that needs to be analyzed, and that analysis is taken care by the data management team. Of course, safety is something is very much important. So that's the reason pharmacovigilance is very important and crucial field, who takes care of all the analysis as per the regulatory requirements and reporting as per the regulatory requirements for each of the country as well. But finally, once we need to submit the data, we can't submit just the data, right? So we might need to have that clinical study report, CSR, to be prepared, for which we need the medical writing team, which definitely we need the biostat team to create those tables, listings, and figures and all that. And so with the help of the biostat team, medical writing writes the report, and as per the requirement, as per the sponsor requirement, as per the regulatory requirement, they prepare the reports as well. Health economics and market research is something an emerging fields as well, which combines the writing with the writing with the health economics. Digital health and AI enabled medical writing is also emerging areas. So what is that? I mean, we call it as HEOR, health economics and market research. So it addresses the increasing demand for the value-based healthcare, and the pressure for having that cost effective measures, or pressure to manage the rising cost, and the need for the data for the real world evidence is increasing. And that's the reason this specific field is going to be needed. And there are several pharma companies, multinational companies, who are having those specialists recruited. But mostly we can see that in the developed countries, that research is really on the fast track. So the market access writing, why it is needed? Market access writing is needed as securing the regulatory approval alone is no longer guarantees that product is going to have the commercial success. So if we are developing the product, and we should be knowing that if we are developing, what is the market. So there should be a team of the individuals who are specialized in the market access, who should be able to look into the market. It can be probably a South Africa, or it can be US, Europe, or any other market, and should be able to prepare a comprehensive report in terms of the how the market access, how the timeline for the product development will be, how many years we are going to, how will be the landscape of that, what will be the competition at that point of time, and if we are able to go to the market at that point of time, what is going to be a benefit which we are going to get then in terms of the investment. So that market access reports are going to be are actually very, very crucial right now at this moment, which before investing into the drug discovery, or before starting any biologicals or starting any product development. So this is something which is taken care, which is something is requested by those teams, which gives them the idea about what will be the commercial success at realistically taking into consideration all these factors as well. Then in terms of the digital health, it is a unique medical field, and you can see that there are a lot of new regulations, not by country, those are emerging very quickly, which can be like a data security concerns and challenges in accessing the clinical validity and user engagement and all that. So all this together, these factors, so if we are able to specialize in that, so that is also going to be a huge demand moving forward. AI enabled medical writing, so everybody has been using the AI nowadays. But it is not. It is a powerful tool which is assisting the medical writers, but it cannot replace the medical writers. It definitely helps, but it cannot be replaced. And AI enabled medical writing offers a significant advancement in terms of efficiency. So if Previously, the medical writer might need maybe 2 weeks to develop the medical writing report, but now because of the AI, and he or she should be able to get the data very much quickly on, and should be able to analyze that and get that information, rather than reading all the literatures and then probably copy pasting or probably writing those notes and all that. We get the accurate information as well, but really need to look into that, review that, have some quality checks as well, and the compliance as well. So in terms of the core responsibilities, so they are responsible for the writing the clinical trial documents. It can be a protocol, because protocol is like a Bible for the clinical trial. CSR is like a Bible for the regulatory agency, because what the regulatory agency looks is into the clinical study report. So prepare scientific manuscripts or posters or the presentations, draft regulatory documents, create the marketing and medical communication content which is used for the medical, which is used by the sales and marketing, which plays a very important role in differentiating them from the other competitors as well. Literature review and data interpretation. So what are the skills required? So of course, ability to interpret the clinical data, understanding the study design, literature search. You should be very good in terms of the medical terminology. Should be interested in sitting in front of the computer and taking the interest in reading and accumulating the knowledge in terms of whatever the literature you are able to have. Of course, writing and communicating skills are definitely required. Skills gained through the through the internship as well, like they the candidates are able to have the real term, do the literature search and referencing, understand the ICHSAP, can connect the dots into whatever the the outputs are needed, whatever the reports different types are needed, the country requirements, the country regulations, what are the queries which comes usually when it is submitted, if it is a medical marketing, if it is a scientific literature, anything. So what is that they need to focus on, what are the different styles they need to use, and what are the common observations, and what is that something the improvement they need to do in terms of developing their skill set as well, and the data interpretation. In terms of the roles, entry level, those are usually the medical writers, content writer, publication writers. Mid level, those can be the senior medical writer or regulatory affairs, so someone specialized like medical marketing or quality reviewer. We need to have the quality check as well in terms of whatever the data has been included, written, and all. There are the senior level positions as well, like medical manager, lead manager, or director, or head of the medical affairs and scientific affairs as well. So nowadays, definitely having those VP in scientific affairs, or having that industry and academic connections is also something which is increasing within the clinical development, because we need those inputs. So having those scientific background people at the operations position, as at the medical writing position, or at the who are actually having that experience but can communicate well with those so-called key opinion leaders in those countries in that particular therapeutic areas, is also something which is getting importance. So where the career exists, so again, the career exists in the CROs, pharma biotech companies, IT KPOs as well, and medical communication agencies, scientific journals and publications. There are the edtech and health tech companies, which you might have heard about, the 1mg, Practo, Healthy, Healthify Me and all that. So those are all apps which are getting developed. So having that technology connect and getting into these companies as well, which is going to be possible, and this is something is a really evolving area in future. In terms of the skill sets, we did discuss that, but definitely medical writing skills. Really need someone who is writing clear, concise, scientific writing, grammar, formatting, English communication, data interpretation, storytelling. These are the skills definitely will be helpful in the medical writing. Career growth, we discussed about that. Salary range, it's entry level, it starts around 3, goes up to 20, 30, 40 lakhs. I think I'm coming to the end of my presentations. So this is just a comparison between the medical writing, pharmacovigilance, and CDM, which we had discussed, and it gives a snapshot of what is the primary focus, who it is best for whom, who is that person who should be taking the interest, what is the work style, what is the growth, whether how much are the tech requirements over there. Of course, in the pharmacovigilance and clinical data management, the tech requirements gets increased with the data science getting evolved from the clinical data management. So tech involvement is really high. Freshers hiring, yes, it is something which is considered. In terms of the growth and future scope, so medical writing, yes, there is a high demand for regulatory scientific publications, clinical trial publications, or clinical trial submissions, and all that, and including the digital health content as well, which is the growing area. Pharmacovigilance, India is the global PV hub. So strong outsourcing growth as well as new safety requirements are there. Clinical data management, there is a rise in the global clinical trials. Global CDM hub, data science is evolving, and India is getting more attention in that. So there we are evolving from the into the decentralized clinical trials as well, which can be something can help to reduce the cost, and digital data capture as well. So this is the salary comparison across, and what can be the benefits on the internship. So for the students, of course, it can be improved job readiness. They get that level of the experience from the internship. Real world exposure, so whatever the teaching or whatever from the theoretical they had learned, so probably they should be able to see the practical and see how much whatever they had learned in the academia is actually going to be benefited over there. But definitely there is a lot of learning over there. Strong technical and soft technical skills they are able to develop, soft skills they are able to develop, and that is something is very, very important. Competitive advantage is also there in terms of the hiring. For the industry, industry gets the skilled talent pipeline. So I recall when I was interviewed. I mean, it was a long time back, and it was in the campus as well. So when I completed my PhD, and there was a campus interview, and I got selected from the campus. So definitely they are able to get the skilled talent from the existing pool as well. By interviewing maybe 10, 20 candidates and selecting, the most suitable one, which they feel they are more suitable. Reduced training cost, because if someone is into the internship and if that person is working for 6 months, then already that person is trained on that, and once that person is full-time over there and absorbed in that particular company, the training cost is minimal, or it's nil, and immediately they can be assigned to the projects. A stronger academia as well as industry collaboration. And definitely there can be a better innovation and productivity, because right now the talent is really in the institutes, the young generation are really super talented, and once they get into the industry, they are able to, industry is also able to identify that, and they can contribute into the innovation and the productivity and a lot of other skill sets they are able to bring. So when we were at the old ages, we were not having any of the additional certifications or anything, but right now we can see that the individuals are really talented. They do the multitasking. They try to learn the things in parallel, and they get the certifications, and they are coming up to the speed in terms of the competition, so that they should be able to enter quickly into the industry. So it can be good for both students as well as industry. To conclude that, definitely the structural internship are essential for producing the industry ready graduates. Pharmacovigilance, medical writing, CDM, in bracket data science offer a promising and high growth careers. And there are definitely other emerging areas, but these are the three which we had covered today. And integrating these pathways, strengthening both academia and industry outcomes is something is going to be beneficial for both industry as well as academic. I think that was my last slide, and thank you very much. And we I think it's sharp 9 o'clock, but so sorry about that. I was not able to in this presentation maybe 5-10 minutes to give the chance to answer any questions. But if there are any burning or urgent questions, I'm happy to stay longer for you guys.
Thanks, Dr. Patel. It is a wonderful presentation by you. I think if students have some questions or our audience any questions, you clarify all questions in your different slides. Some students ask some questions, but I think you rectified all questions initially. But again, I want to ask some on behalf of our students. I ask some questions from you. That the most important is there's a much scope. Today is much scope in PV, data management, medical writing, PDSs, all. How student get internship? That's the most important. Student want to know how student get internship. If there are any softwares available online, or is there any training institutes available online, or company itself give training to the students?
Yeah, that's a good question, and I was expecting these questions to be coming in as well. So I had seen in my career, maybe in the project management, there were some interns we had taken from the college. There were some in the pharmacovigilance as well. But what is really needed is that connect between the academic institutes and the industries. That is something which I feel is missing. So that should be initiated. I mean, who should initiate should not be the question. Of course, I think it should be both who should be taking the initiative, but it will be better if academic institutes approach the industries and probably try to connect and leverage that relationship into having that internship. And because there are a lot of advantages. Instead of hiring the candidates, because if there are no interns, what the pharma companies or the CROs are going to do, or any of the companies are going to do, is hire from the market. And right now the job market is such that if there is one application, there are a lot of candidates which are available. So probably at few years back, it was very difficult to get the PhD candidate or to get the MPharm candidate with the pharmacology or that specialization. But right now, that's not the case. So if that initiative should start from the institute, and definitely industry should be able to recognize that, and the pay scale which is given to the fresher or the intern is very, very low as compared to someone who is coming on board. And what we do is we do interview the candidates who are experienced, and it's only 1 hour discussion. And we sometimes probably are not able to make a good choice. So it is always better that probably we have few interns selected from good amount of the interviews, have them, give them the assignment. It is always better for the associates or the mid-level management team who are working to have some assistance from the interns. So it's like a mutual collaboration, mutual learning as well, and help. And once we identify, so I mean, once there is an opening or if there is a need, so it can be a cost effective recruitment for the company as well. But to answer more precisely to your question, so that is something, is the development area which I talked about. And definitely there is a lot of work which needs to be done between industry and institute collaboration as well. But this is going to be a mutually benefited and definitely industries are not, what industries do is they hire someone experienced. But there right now, what I feel based on my experience definitely comes along, but having that talented individual who had developed himself with a lot of certifications and a lot of tech related things and can bring up innovative ideas is something probably the industries in future can be inclined to invest on. And I think that is going to be a future, but definitely the efforts needs to be taken from both the sides. I think Dr. Shidesh, you are on mute.
I think that would be better. And is it? I just want a single question from my side. So the institute directly connect to HR of the companies, or to who is the right person to that we will connect for internship and all for our students?
Yes, HR is the best person, because HR is someone who is hiring the candidates from outside.
Okay.
HR is someone who can provide. HR is someone who is looking into the hiring needs for each of the department in the pharma company, in the any of the company, and HR can present well to that department or that company in terms of strategy to have those interns on board, and there can be some cost saving as well, and how it will be advantage for the company overall. So definitely it should be HR. But in case someone is knowing any of the industry experts or anything, so probably connecting to them, give the reference, asking them to probably introduce with the HR and probably leverage that relationship to penetrate and get that meeting done and conducted. So I think that will be helpful.
So, Dr. Patil, I think you also help us to give us some reference to HR also. That would be
Definitely.
beneficial for a student.
Yeah.
They would definitely connect to you. And
Yep.
one more question we have received from Sajjan Kumar, that he asked that working under CRO requires some initial skills apart from academic knowledge. He just want to know.
Entering into the CRO has become difficult recently.
Okay.
So maybe there are some core areas like pharmacovigilance. It can be a data management and all that. So definitely entering into that area will be much easier. But again, there is a competition. So only getting out of the college and applying might not be helpful, because there will be several applications which will be coming.
Okay.
So having those advanced skills, as I mentioned in one of the slides, so maybe even though probably get an opportunity to do some certification courses, be open for any of the internship as well. So even though there is a low pay, then also it's fine. There are some of the opportunities outside in the clinical research. In hospitals as well, there is a need for the clinical research coordinator. Some associate level jobs are available. So probably getting that job, whatever you get, probably that is going to be helpful to get some clinical trial experience, and that experience is going to help you to probably any of the hiring manager to prioritize you on the others. But again, it is also beneficial for the candidates to work on the soft skills as well, because there are some candidates maybe who I referred from some because they it's the global environment, and it's a people company. So what is important is about the people, about the communication, your working style, all that. So those candidates whom I referred and recruited did interviewed those as a primary screening activity, and they didn't find the level of the communication as par which was needed. So definitely that communication, that preparation, and developing those soft skills is also something which is important.
Okay, this is a very nice presentation. I think now students much more aware with CRO, medical writing, PV, clinical research, and that would be help to student to choose their career in these fields. Thanks. I don't think so there is any question now. So again, I want to say thanks to Dr. Kuldeep sir, or it's a very informative session. Thanks a lot. And this is some token of appreciation for Pharmalok team, which is out, I think, represented on the screen. You have you seen,
Yep.
sir?
Yeah, I seen that. Yep.
Yeah, this is your simple token of appreciation for our side. And thanks a lot for your time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Sitish. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for hosting me and giving this opportunity to talk with you. Much appreciate. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.